Aja Cheput. I hope everybody's having an Emot summer so far. I am seeking re-election for Hegus September 14th, 2024. All the candidates had an opportunity to bring their platform forward through the All Candidates meeting, as well as through the NEMU. I have taken both these opportunities, but I want to take this third avenue to make a video today and just make sure that my platform reaches everybody's eyes and ears. My name is John Stephen Hackett. My grandparents is Johnny and Marie Hackett, Stephen and Marion Harry. I was raised by my Kukpa and my Chicha, Marie and Johnny, alongside with my father as well. I've been married to Jessica Hackett for 7 years. I was born and raised here in Tishosum. I believe the best way to bring forward my platform for Hegus is to reflect on the past, reflect on the present, and look forward to the future. The past, I have completed the Natural Resource Technology program at Nicola Valley Institute of Technology in 2004. From 2006 to 2020, 14 years, I have worked with our forestry company, Theacham Forest Products, overseeing Woodlot 1672 as well as the community forest. I've been grateful and honored to represent Clonman politically for 18 years. I've witnessed our government structure evolve and mature to what we live under here today. Under the Indian Act was very hard times with minimal support for programs and services. Funding that was allocated had a very narrow scope and very little flexibility. This did not meet the needs for our growing community. Our government structure under the Indian Act was not efficient, where programs and services were micromanaged by committees. These committees overstepped the advisory role and taken away from the manager's position to manage their programs. A lot of time and effort from the working groups leading up to Clonman being self-governing nation structured our governance model. Reflecting, I find our current government structure efficient and effective. Looking back, so much has been accomplished by Clonman now that we are a self-governing nation, especially during the last 4 years. We have moved forwards in leaps and bounds. Now that in the present, now that we are a self-governing nation, we can engage with the federal government, provincial government on a government-to-government level. We are engaging to access funding and support not only for programs and services, but we're also accessing money to build much needed infrastructure in our community, what you see here today. Infrastructure to address housing shortages, infrastructure to house many of the programs and services our nation sees here today, such as the Cousins House. Government to government, we have increased our jurisdiction on child family services, increased our jurisdiction on our territory, closing 17 open pen fish farms within the Discovery Passage. We have stood our ground opposing the commercial herring harvest. We have developed a memorandum of understanding with Western Forest Products, opposing old growth harvesting within our territory. Clonman has changed the format of our General Assembly this past spring. Our General Assembly was a great milestone as our community gathered to learn about all the services and activities of the nation. The administration, the health, and Clonman Management Service did a great job updating our citizens and answering all the questions that our community members had about the programs and services and what direction our nation is going. We had 266 citizens that joined us on these 2 amazing days. The feedback and guidance from our citizens who participated in the 25 breakout sessions was very important. The feedback to help guide policy development and give direction moving forward as a common government was very vital. The input from everybody was so important. Everybody's voice counts. The future. We have covered a lot of ground since we became self-governing nation, but there is still so much to carry forward. There is so much work that needs to be done. I feel within these last 4 years, we accomplished so much, reaching agreements with the federal government, the provincial government. I feel like we're in mid-swing right now, and there's so much more work to do, and I think we need a consistent team that worked on these agreements to follow these agreements through so we can move forward consistently and not waste any time at all. We need to complete our negotiations for a specific claim with the federal government pertaining T-Squat. Carry forward negotiations to take back our former village site, T-Squat, with the negotiations with Paper Excellence. We have covered a lot of ground and pivoted in many directions that followed the direction of the community with due diligence. There's a lot of concern out there about costs and remediation. I think we are going down 2 different paths with acquiring T-Squat back. I think we got to look at the lower risk areas there and start looking at development plans, how we could generate jobs, and there's other areas where the contamination is very high, and I think we got to play more of a stewardship role and work with the provincial government to make sure that these sites are remediated back to where it should be, and it will not be a cost to Kalama Nation. I believe we got to hold the polluters, that, like what the rules say, polluters pays, and we got to hold their feet to the fire with that. My goal is to start a development plan for the nation lands located in Westview for economic development, to create jobs and a tax base for Kalaman. Move forward on construction of the apartment-style housing on our T-Squat lands in town site. This would be very ideal lands for our community members, as it has really close access to the city services, such as the bus services, and it's closer to town. I think as a really ideal spot. I really look forward to Kalama moving forward and developing this apartment-style complex for our nation members. The design is complete. We are waiting for the land to be converted to Kalama lands. T-Squat was awarded back to the hospital lands of T-Squat was awarded back to Kalama in 2018, and we're pushing the provincial government really hard on finalizing the land transfer to Kalama, and once that does happen, we will move forward in construction of this apartment-style building. I just want to express my gratitude for trusting me to holding the Hegus position for this past term. I've grown so much as a person with the responsibilities, and I always do my best to represent Kalama in a proud way. I would be honored to be reelected again and ask for your trust to vote for me September 14th. Thank you, Emaliga, and Ixnums. Thank you. I hope everybody has a good day.